So back here with my good friend Modesto. It's been a while. We got out, did some serious training, and I talk daily about the importance of security, and that's why we're out here today working on security. And security is, to me, next to God, the most important asset you can have. Modesto, what do you think?
Absolutely. We have commissioned by God himself to protect those that are weaker, those that can't protect themselves, and that includes not only our own selves and our person, but our families, those around us, our friends. It's important that we know how to protect ourselves and others.
So extremely important. Again, next to walking close to God is security. I wouldn't worry about food, water, gold, silver, gear, anything until you get your security house in order. But I'm going to switch gears here, and while Modesto's here, I want to pick his brain on a few things. We all know about what just happened with FTX, the collapse. I'm reading this morning that now it's $16 billion of people's money tied into or crypto money tied in to FTX. People can't get their money out. They can't get crypto out. It is now turning out that we are witnessing a crypto collapse, and you and I both believe from day one this whole thing was a scam.
Yeah, I mean, if you physically don't have anything in your possession, if it's made up or if it's in someone else's possession, it's fair game for someone to take it from you.
And we've seen so much theft in crypto, the hacking, and now what Sam Fried has done. And I don't know if anybody will ever go to prison for this. We'll find out. But how many hedge funds, banks, retail investors, celebrities, athletes, how many people now have invested in this and have been totally wiped out? Pensions. It's going to be a disaster. So now they're talking about $16 billion that was in FTX. Could be less, could be more. We'll find out. But I want to talk about the U.S. housing market. $1.3 trillion of equity wiped out in the third quarter alone. You're in the housing business, kind of.
Yeah, renovations.
So you have firsthand knowledge. What are you seeing? You're staying busy, but you said it's getting slow.
Oh yeah, going from 4 or 5 phone calls a week for renovations on someone's home from various different people to zero calls in a week or 2 weeks, last 2 weeks, of people wanting to renovate their homes, wanting to improve on their homes. And I've seen it before. I've been in this cycle before.
Right.
It's very reminiscent of 2006, 2007. Everything slowed down.
And you've prepared for the cycle. You know slowdowns are going to happen. You've prepared.
Absolutely.
Many people in the housing market, in real estate, in the mortgage market, have not prepared. And many people we're already seeing laid off in the mortgage industry. We're seeing what's happening in Redfin and Zillow, all the layoffs with the mortgage departments of these big banks. And we're going to see more real estate offices close. We're seeing 30 realtors a day in Las Vegas call it quits. And we're going to see a lot of people now unable to make money now that mortgage rates are over 7%, going to 8% by the end of this year, in my opinion. What does that do to housing when we now that we're at 7 going to 8%?
Oh, it's going to crush housing. It's going to crush sales. It's going to crush refinances, all of that. And we're in for a really bad time. Most people forget what happened
in 08.
In 08.
Yeah.
They forget the hard times they came in. They forget all of the banks coming in and foreclosing on homes and taking them from them. I'm sure every one of us knows a mortgage real estate agent that lost their job in 08 and 09.
And the scary thing here now isn't, it's just not going to be people in real estate that lose their jobs. We're looking at every sector across the board now in jeopardy. You look at what's happening in tech, what's happening in trucking, what's happening in real estate. Nobody is safe now. Nobody is immune from losing a job. And that's why I've been saying for years, make sure you have a cash reserve put away. Make sure you get your debts paid off, because we're going to see slow times again. And people don't remember 2008. Many people might have been too young to remember 2008. But if you could give any advice today on preparing for what's about to happen, is it too late for some people already?
Oh, of course, it's never too late. You just got to start preparing. Today is the day. Get out there, and whether it's buying one piece of silver, one piece of gold, depending on what you can afford, whether it's getting out and purchasing security for yourself, all of that's important.
Or paying off a credit card, paying off the debt, paying off the car, getting out of debt as soon as you can, because at some point it is going to be too late.
Yeah,
and let's think about the people right now who've already lost a job, had no money saved up, have $10,000 in credit card debt, $20 or $20,000 in student loan debt. To me, it's too late for those people. They're done.
This is why you see so many people living on the streets now, living in RVs, living in their own cars. So you see it everywhere. People climbing out of the backs of their trucks.
You live in Riverside County. I live in Riverside County. You're closer to the city of Riverside, and we're out here in the Palm Springs area. Tents everywhere, homelessness everywhere. I don't think people outside of California quite understand how bad this homeless epidemic is right now, at least here in California. It's all over the country, but we have more homeless people in America than anybody. And what do you say to somebody that could be facing homelessness? There are people driving nice cars, or who have been driving nice cars, living in a nice house or a nice condo, who are going to be facing a very serious situation here. They are going to be facing a homeless crisis here. What do you say to these people?
One thing I can say is I hope you've been a good neighbor. I hope you've been a good family member. You have someone that cares for you and loves you, because you're going to need their help. You need their help to stay in a place to live. You need their help getting around. Truly, that's where it always lies. You fall back to those that love you and that care for you.
That's great advice. Make sure family and friends, church, make sure you have a network. And I think a lot of people are going to find out who their real friends are here pretty soon. Yeah. They're going to find out who
and how good of a friend they were.
Right.
Truly.
Right. People are good. But, I've said a million times, I've been warning my friends, my family to prepare. Don't come knocking at my door. And we've been talking about this for a while, that people are going to come knocking at your door for help. But why didn't they listen a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? I mean, I cannot afford to take care of all my friends, all my family members who I've warned for years. And at some point, you got to be strong enough to close the door.
Yeah, it's going to be tough situations for everyone all around. You're gonna be faced with either feeding your own kids and your own family, or taking care of your neighbors.
And if you're taking care of your neighbors, you're giving up calories for your neighbors. And to me, you're taking on more risk and more liability. This is the time to make sure that everybody's been warned and that everybody knows, look, you're going to be on your own. I'm not going to be able to help you. This is the final warning, because I'm not going to be able to answer that knock at the door. Because if I let one person in, then I got to let everybody in. So this is a warning to everybody. Make sure you get your house in order right now. But looking at some of the data, 15,000 cars a day being repossessed in America. Auto delinquencies at a 10-year high and climbing. It's going to get worse. As I've said, people lose their car. Now, how do they get to work? They don't. How do they take their kids to school? You lose your car, especially in California. We don't have public transportation like some areas do, especially out here. You're dead in the water.
Yeah, you lose your car, you lose your job if you have to travel to get to your work.
CPI up 7.7% compared to a year ago. Dow Jones up over 1,200 points last Thursday. NASDAQ over 760 on all this bad news that CPI is up. I mean, inflation up 7.7% from a year ago. And this seems to be good news for the markets. This is a bizarre world, Modesto, when bad news allows the markets to celebrate, rally, and go up like this. I don't understand it. Like, what do you
Yeah, well, it would be weird that the fake good news or the not so bad news is actually good news, right?
Yeah.
Right, and it used to be that you would invest in companies that would have great earnings. It used to be you would invest in companies that had a good future,
for
right?
10, 20, 30 years down the road.
Correct.
To retire. It was called investing, not speculating and gambling. As people today, want to like throw $500 down on a crypto and hope to make $5 million. Yeah. And so many people sat in front of a screen 18 hours a day, hoping and praying that they were going to make thousands of dollars, watching every day, hoping to make money in these cryptos. And now people are learning a very valuable lesson. And we've talked about this many times. What about these people who pulled money out of their homes to buy these cryptos, and they were buying Bitcoin, say, for $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. Now it's $16,000. And now equity beginning to disappear in their homes. What happens to these people?
Yeah, hard times for them. They threw everything into one pot, and they got caught on it. It is a strange thing. Life's gonna be strange for them for sure.
I mean, how strange to see the global economy shut down for a year. People paid to stay at home. People taking this money instead of putting it away and buying real things. They were gambling in the crypto market, buying NFTs. Now, nobody talks about the cryptos. Nobody talks about NFTs. Now people are just talking about how much money they've lost. And many of these people now, unfortunately, are forced to just be Lyft and Uber drivers. And at one point, they thought they were going to be millionaires. Yeah. I mean, we were living in a very bizarre time, literally the twilight zone, where people have this mentality that I don't have to work hard. All I have to do is take $500 or $1,000, and if I put it in the right crypto, I'm going to be a multi-millionaire. Again, I don't have to work hard. People just think that you're going to get rich overnight. And to me, if you want to become wealthy, it takes time, it takes hard work, it takes dedication, it takes knowing what you're doing. And these people knew nothing. How many people with their Robinhood accounts have been wiped out? People who literally only had $2,000 throwing it all into cryptos. Now they have absolutely nothing. They're back in mom's basement. What do you say to these people?
Yeah, the only reason they were able to do that is because they got so much free money from the government. Because the government printed trillions of dollars over the last 3 years and was handing it out to those that no longer had to work. And so their job was to sit at home and put it on a computer screen and watch everyone else do the very same thing, and everything rose up. But now we're at the end of it where there's no more free money being handed out and everything's starting to collapse.
So this is a very scary time because the money is drying up. The Fed is shrinking the balance sheet. The Fed is going to continue to raise rates. And now we're seeing massive layoffs beginning, and they're going to magnify. And now people, when they get hungry, as you and I said, this is when it gets crazy, when people get hungry, then they're going to want to go work. And people will do things they never thought humanly possible to do when they get hungry. And right now we have so many people that refuse to work, but they're going to because at some point they'll get hungry enough. But now here's the problem. Where are the jobs going to be? Because now we're watching the layoffs begin. We're watching companies looking at the bottom line. They're cutting the fat. And so what are people going to do when they have no job, no money, no reserves, no assets, a lot of debt? What happens to these people?
They're going to be hurting. You said that they wouldn't have the ability to buy food. There's going to come a point where there's no food to buy because there's no people working the farms. There's no people working driving the produce to the grocery store.
We also know that 100 food processing plants burned down. We looked at cattle that died in the drought over the past summer, and we're looking at the food shortage is causing a beef shortage because you have all these ranchers now turning in their cattle early to be processed because they can't afford to feed them. And we're not really going to see the food situation until 2023.
Correct.
This is when we begin to see problems. And when people get hungry, they begin to get crazy. And this is why you better be able to take care of yourself, protect yourself, and why security is the #1 asset next to God. But we'll wrap it up here. We've been here for 4 hours just training today and working on skills and working on security. A lot of people will take the weekend, they will go gamble, they will take a weekend trip, they will go have a steak at Morton's or Mastro's, put it on social media, show us their $30 cocktail, and want to be big shots. And then there's people like us who will come out here and spend 4 hours on a beautiful Sunday afternoon, work up a sweat, get dirty, and just do what we have to do. And this is what I think all of you need to be doing too, is working on your security. I try to walk the walk the best that I can. I know Modesto does the same thing. I would never tell any of you to do anything that I don't do. I'm huge about buying metals, gold, silver. I'm huge about putting cash away. I'm huge about getting out here training and working on your security. I'm huge about working, getting your body in better physical shape, going to the gym, working on jiu-jitsu, working on any type of MMA, boxing, whatever it may be. I would never tell any of you to do this if I wasn't doing it myself. I'm so passionate about it, and we are running out of time. And time is one of the most important assets we have, Modesto.
Absolutely. Time is getting short.
So what should we be doing with our time?
We should be preparing. We should be stocking up. We should be warning as many others out there that will hear us and listen to us. We talked earlier about others just not believing it's going to happen, right? Others making fun. Others saying, "Oh, you're crazy," and calling us crazy, right, for what we're doing. Yet when the tables are turned, and they will be turned.
They're starting to turn right now.
It is.
I kind of relate this back to Noah's Ark, where they judge, ridicule, made fun of Noah for building an ark that took about 100 years to build in the middle of the desert. And we all need to be building that ark right now. We need to be working on the ark right now. And I think we're at a point right now where I think I just felt a raindrop. And pretty soon it's going to be more drops and more drops. And people are now
beginning. The clouds are coming in, right? You can see them starting to form.
And you can see the fear on people's faces right now. And you see people are short-fused, they're short-tempered when they're driving. You can see the disdain and fear and panic on people's faces. People are losing their jobs. They're tapping into the retirement savings. They're tapping in to their home savings. They've tapped equity out of their homes. They're tapping into their credit cards. And at some point people tap out and there's nowhere to go. They're at a dead end. At this point, it's too late. And I don't want it to be too late for anybody out there. That's why we're here. That's why Modesto's here talking with all of you. I've known Modesto for a couple of years now, stand-up guy. And look, we're just two people who love this country, love everybody out there. We don't want to see anybody get hurt. If you haven't begun preparing, begin today, tonight. Get to the store, start putting some, let's talk about like 5 things right now. If you don't have a big budget, as we close this video down, what are 5 things, if somebody just watched this video today for the first time and they actually have a job and they have a couple dollars, where would you say the first 5 things you would do right now in preparation?
Very first 5 things: go out and buy a 25-pound bag of rice, a 25-pound bag of beans, and then any other canned goods that you can purchase. Fill it up. It doesn't take much. You could do it for less than $100, and that food will last your family a month. That's what I would say you need to do.
Water?
Water's important too. If you don't have water, you're not going to last very long.
Medical kit?
Med kit.
That's inexpensive. Tourniquet. And I would say number 1, before you do any of that, make sure you have a way to protect all of this stuff. Otherwise, somebody will just take it from you. So I'm going to leave it there today. Modesto, good seeing you. Thanks for coming out today.
Awesome.
It was a great session.
It was a lot of hard work.
If you guys want to check it out, it will be on my Facebook. Go to Jeremiah Babe, Facebook it. I'll put a little bit of the training up on there so you can maybe see how it corresponds with your training, your security. Maybe we're doing something wrong. You can correct us. Maybe it's something you can add to your training. But it'll be on Facebook. Check it out. God bless every one of you. Thanks for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and like it. Share these videos with everyone, all your social media, and make sure you subscribe. Modesto, God bless.
God bless.